All right, welcome, Get Speaking Gigs family. This is Tim David in a new location today, experimenting with different lighting. Ooh, no, I don't want to look like a Simpsons character today. Ooh, no, oh, that's too much. We're just going to go all natural lighting today. But we are here to not talk about lighting per se. We are here not to talk even about Zoom quality, right? Even about broadcast quality, but rather demo videos, right? We're here to talk about how to make the perfect demo video that gets you booked and at the higher fees that we want to get. Just here to do a quick check-in before our official start time. I do see that Mike has joined us. I see people hopping in and hopping out. So hopefully everyone can see and hear me. Go ahead and pop a comment into the chat just so I know that you're here. I'm here. I can see you. You can talk to me. All of the things are working. I do see Gregory. Hey, Gregory Dwyer, welcome. And Andrea, and of course, Mike as well in the chat. Welcome, welcome, welcome. The way this is going to go down, we're going to go relatively quickly here. I'm on a bit of a tight time budget. I've got some discovery calls to do today. Have some people really anxious to chat about the speaking business and how to get more speaking gigs. And, I am booked pretty tightly for that, especially lately. Lots and lots of those discovery calls. Hey, Glenn Anderson, welcome. Looks like the chat is working over there on YouTube. Haven't seen anybody pop in yet on the Facebooks. Hopefully, it does look like I am live on Facebook as well. So if you are watching on Facebook, a couple of notes before we officially get started here. Pop this into the stream. If you are on Facebook, you need to go ahead and I think it's, oh my gosh, where did it go? I thought there was a different comment for that. Oh gosh. Yeah, it might just show up as Facebook user. But hey, worst case scenario, you'll let me know that Facebook is indeed working. So if you're on Facebook and you're watching this in the Get Speaking Gigs Facebook group, go ahead and drop a comment below and see if that pops up. If you're not in member of our Get Speaking Gigs Facebook group, by golly gosh goodness, let's get you in there. In fact, I will pull up a link to drop in to make sure we are all on the same page. I want to stay in touch with my Get Speaking Gigs family as many ways as I can. So, of course, Get Speaking Gigs Facebook group is one of the ways that we do that. Another way that we do that, of course, and I do see it live in the Facebook group, which is fantastic. Another way we do that, of course, is the Get Speaking Gigs home page, just getspeakinggigs.com. Hey, Tom, I almost said Swartwood. Hey, welcome. Glad to have you. This is the link to the Facebook group. I just put that in the comments section. I believe that'll go on YouTube. All right. So if you are watching on YouTube, go ahead, subscribe to our Facebook group. If you're watching on Facebook, go ahead, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We do these live streams from time to time. Yes, much of the content is reserved for our inner circle, right, where we do our Friday sessions and we give you the behind the scenes. That is currently closed right now to new members. But you know what? Hey, you can certainly still take advantage of some of the free stuff that we do, including today's session, which is about to get started in 1 minute or less. So I'll give people a chance to hop in. There we go. I do see a Facebook user saying, thanks for doing this. Hey, thanks for coming. Thanks for coming, and thanks for speaking. You know, I got to say before we officially jump in here, speaking is a lonely business. Speaking is a difficult business. Speaking is a purpose-filled business, and it takes a certain type of person to be able to do this work and to be able to dedicate your working hours to helping and serving other people with your message, with your story, getting on stage, being vulnerable. Speaking from the heart. It's just takes a special person. So not just thanks for doing this, thanks for doing what you do. And let's go ahead and let's dive in. Let's dive in. It still says 11:59 Eastern time, according to my iPhone. I do believe that there are people who are going to be prompt and on time. So we're going to dive in and get started. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger because this is going to be the focus today. Demo videos, how to get the perfect demo footage, how to make the perfect demo video that gets you booked and get you booked at higher fees, right? We all want to book more gigs and get more paid. As I said in the email today, book more gigs, get more paid. That is a goal for a lot of us. So we're going to do that. We're going to focus on that. Hey, Dean, welcome. Really simple. In the next 45 minutes, we're going to be covering speaker demo videos. Can't be any clearer than that. We're going to go soup to nuts. We're going to talk about the different types. We're going to have strategies for people with different budgets. There are going to be secrets, hacks, tips, best practices. And yes, there will even be 2 invitations to level up your video game and therefore level up your speaking game. Yes, one in the same demo videos are extremely important. Now, who am I? I'm not going to read all this to you. But basically, I used to be a professional magician, dropped out of college to do that. I was doing little kids' birthday parties for a living, 300 shows a year, and then quietly transitioned and now quietly have earned over $1 million in speaking fees, almost no social media following, almost no email list really to speak of. And since then, I've been published by Penguin Random House, did a TEDx talk, featured by major speakers bureaus, spoken in 48 states, all kinds of major media outlets, blah, 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 blah. That's not the cool part, right? None of that is what is allowing me to run my consistent 6-figure speaking business. Instead, a lot of that came from having a 6-figure speaking business, right? I didn't get a book deal because of any other reason than I had a ton of speaking gigs on my calendar. And the publisher said, this guy might be able to sell some books, right? So, I think being able to build a speaking business from scratch and leverage that speaking business is such a huge asset. I don't care if you are excited about speaking for fee in order to get paid, or if you are speaking in order to grow a business or raise awareness for an idea or a nonprofit or a cause. And hey, speaking can do all of those things. And in order to speak, we really have to leverage video. Really got to leverage video. It is one of our most important marketing assets, most important tools that we have at our disposal. So that's who I am very, very briefly. Of course, yes, I'm the host of the Next Stage Speaking Summit. And this year we are live and in person. August 11th, 12th, and 13th. In fact, August 11th is a VIP day where people are coming to shoot their demo videos, right? Because we understand the importance of demo videos. I'll tell you on one of the slides, I did a little survey, did a little poll, and the importance of demo videos is very apparent to everyone. We all know we need demo videos. We all know we need to improve our demo videos. And it's kind of that catch-22, right? You've got to have a demo video to get the gig, but then you got to have the gig to get the demo video footage. So what do? Hey, come on down to the summit on our VIP day. There it is, nextstagesummit.com. Because again, I took a poll, right? You've heard about who I am, speaker, also host of the summit, run Getspeakinggigs.com. But who is this webinar for? Who is this workshop for? I took a poll. I asked, do you have a demo video? And let's get rid of this for just a moment. Yes, and I love it. There were 3 people who said that, but one of them was a professional video editor, so that doesn't count. There were 4 people who said yes, but it needs work, and then everybody else says no, not yet. In fact, 89% of you are at the point where you're like, I need a video. 89%, that's, that's almost 89 out of 100. In fact, it's a little bit more, 89.47, almost 90%. That is a B+/A-. People who need a demo video. And why? Why do we need a demo video? Real simple. Our prospects will say things about us. They'll say things like, hey, I can see this person speaking at my event, right? Hey, this program will be different, not just another speech. You see, when we realize we need a demo video, it's not just realizing that we need it, all the reasons why we have one, but it's also when we create our demo video, we want to begin with the end in mind. We want to create a video that makes our prospects say, hey, I can see this person speaking at an event, right? That's what we call fitting in. This program will be different, not just another speech. That's what we call standing out. You've got to fit in and stand out, and your demo video has to do the job of that, because otherwise you're selling something intangible, something that they can't see, feel, or touch. It's an event that's happening in the future, but with a demo video, it can make it a little more tangible and plausible. Here's another example of fitting in while standing out. This is an important message that is relevant to my event participants. Fitting in. This is going to be fun. Well, that's standing out because most speakers, dreadfully, dreadfully boring. There's a lot of other reasons why we want to have great speaker video, but also we also want to consider this when we are creating our speaker video. We want a video that's going to make people say, hey, this person is legit. I can trust this person. This person will probably fall at the top of my top end of my budget. And hey, you know, gosh, I wish and hope that this person is available. A great speaker video, according to Chris West, of videonarrative.com, one of the great speaker video creators, says that, hey, speaking videos should really do a big part of the job of selling us. And then our job should really be just making sure that people see that demo video. He said about 60%. So the majority of the selling job should be done can be done by a great demo video. So if you see all of this list right here in front of you, imagine having a video that does all of those things, that makes people say, yeah, no, this is a great fit. This is relevant. This is an exciting, engaging topic. Man, oh man, I hope I can afford this person and I hope they're available. That's a pretty good position to be in. Now, I want to share with you a couple of thoughts on that, right? This is no time to cheap out, right? I think you want to dress not for the job that you have, but for the job that you want. And I also believe that if you're going to be competitive at the $5,000 range, then you got to look like a $10,000 speaker. If you're going to be competitive at the $10,000 range, then your marketing materials better make you look like a $20,000 speaker. You know, again, you've got really just a few moments. I've seen it happen. Event professionals looking at demo videos, and it's horrifying how quickly they swipe past through some of these demo videos. It is like watching people swipe through Tinder. It's just horrifying. So you don't have a lot of time to grab attention. And again, demo video is such an important piece. In fact, I want to share with you my demo video. And speaking of Chris West, this is some of the work he and I did together. And I'm going to pull up the file now and share it with you. It's 4 minutes. We'll talk about what it does and why it works. And more importantly, how you can create demo videos that do all of the things that we listed, right? Now, the first secret that I have for you, the first thing that's going to happen when you see this video is you might be a little intimidated. You might be a little overwhelmed. You might be a little bit, oh gosh, I don't know, feeling like it's out of your budget, right? Speaking of, my video just started playing. We'll hit pause on that. We'll move that there, and then we will share the screen. So the second thing I want you to realize is that there are more than one type of video, right? There's more than one type of video. And during this workshop, with the next time that we have left today, I'm going to share with you several different types of videos. I believe you need at least one of each, right? If you're really going to excel in the speaking business and get more gigs and get more paid, right? I really believe that at least one of each of the following. We're going to talk about 5 different types of demo videos. So don't be overwhelmed. Don't be, intimidated in any way. I'm going to go ahead and hit the share button, and we'll have at it. It'll take just a second for this to load. Share system audio, entire screen. We'll go into the matrix for just a short second. Then we'll hit the play button. There are 3 questions that I get asked over and over as we think about creating more influence in leadership, sales, and workplace interactions. Isn't it logical that since you are investing in your employees, since you're paying them, that they should be engaged? They should do what they're asked to do. Wouldn't it make sense that if you have the best product, the best service, that people would just buy it because it's the best, and they wouldn't need some kind of catchy marketing campaign to convince them? And if you're clear and direct when you speak, shouldn't people listen and respond well? What we don't realize is that as much as we want to believe it, the human brain isn't logical. It navigates and survives the world by making decisions in the fastest way possible. So to get predictable results, you need connection strategies that make the human element predictable. And when you prioritize this intangible thing called human connection, you'll see every measurable metric in your organization improve as a result. So I was introduced as a mentalist. I don't read minds, I read people. Now, the human brain is science's most complex and interesting challenge.
86 billion neurons, hundreds of trillions of connections. And that type of stuff leaves us thinking that the humans we interact with every day are pretty unpredictable. But when you begin to see that the way that we are hardwired for human connection and trust, and when you see the specific actions and words that create these connections, then humans actually become quite predictable. And all of the research today points to this over and over and over. What would happen if every interaction that we went into, every sales appointment, every performance review, what would change if we prioritized human connection? Because if you want to move mountains, you've got to be able to move people. So I had a unique first career as a professional magician, and I really believed that learning tricks and practicing the technical skill was going to be the difference maker. And it just wasn't. It wasn't until I learned about and really understood the value and the power of human connection that my business changed, and it changed to such a degree that I couldn't keep it to myself. So for the next 10 years, and how I ended up here is just sharing that message. I've worked with hundreds of organizations just like this one who value the importance of human connection and just want to be able to make it a priority and a focus and a tangible, actionable asset in their organization. If our goal is to create connection first, then suddenly outcomes change. When we decide to go from interacting to connecting, it makes all the difference in the world. There are still some people that human connection is not an intentional habit, but an afterthought. Let's change the order of that. Be a human. Be vulnerable. Be authentic. Be funny. Be you. Be personable, because in business, personal beats professional. Things are not your perspective versus my perspective. What matters is human connection.
All right, there you have it. It was 4 minutes, right? 4 minutes of video. Would love to hear, some of the or read some of your comments about what did you see? What did you notice? What were some of the elements that we used to sort of tell the story of this idea? And I also want you to type in the chat a number. I want you to guess, and if you know, then this doesn't count, right? But I want you to guess how much a video like that might cost, right? How much might someone invest in a video like that? So go ahead and type those thoughts into the chat. I know we're on a slight delay, so I will wait to see and hear what you have to say. But again, I do believe there's no time to cheap out for sure. All right, so what else did we see? I see Mike says, amazing, thank you. Connected with the viewer, $2,500 for video. So I don't know if that includes shooting, editing, etc. Greg says 12K to 24K. Glenn says 5,000. Melissa says 5,000. Hey, I guess you probably could, right? Get it done. And I think there were a lot of other elements and components that I was able to get with Chris's help, right? So he did help with some of the messaging and obviously scripting it, right? He didn't just say, all right, you get on stage and we'll film you. Because that is part of what I did. I flew to his studio. We shot some extra footage. Couldn't get on until 10 minutes after. Is it possible to watch a replay? Yes, Kathy. If you register for the event and in your email inboxes or Facebook group page, you'll see the links to register for that. Then you will get the replay. 25K minimum, says Dean Hankey. Melissa kept repeating the hook, showed the audience. Yes, showed the reviews. Fantastic. So yes, there are a lot of different elements and pieces of the puzzle that we can use to create what I call a sizzle reel. Now, this is what I just showed you an example of a sizzle reel, not a demo video. I think there's a difference, right? And as I said, there are 5 different types of videos, and we're going to talk about each one. So fantastic, registered twice. Okay, cool, fantastic. Price depends on a lot of things with the video and recording and editing. Over 2,500 for sure, right? For sure. Renting a space, hiring a video crew, having someone help with scripting, you know, obviously whatever you wear on stage, right? You can maybe consider that as an expense. You know, hair, makeup, whatever else might go into making that video look professional. Don't forget the royalty-free music, et cetera, et cetera. Total cost of video editing, including script, shoot, editing, $5K. So yeah, hey, listen, I'll give you the answer. I'll give you the answer, and it does include, again, a lot of other components other than just the finished product of the video. But yeah, we're looking at close to it was over $25,000. Dean, you hit it on the head. Nobody went over, so by Price is Right rules, we'll go with Dean. Have several videos I use, but almost all of my work comes from buyers who have seen me at my own events, and I've never really needed a perfect speaker video that sells and serves. Beautiful, beautiful. You know what? The next best thing is people seeing you speak live in person. When that is not possible, of course, video is the next best thing. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about, really, before you go out and give anybody all that money, you want to use what you've got. And you also want to consider the fact that great production quality will not fix bad messaging. I have seen people swipe past videos that cost $50,000, right? Because the messaging wasn't a match or a fit, right? So great production quality will not fix the bad messaging that is inherent in the speaker demo video. If the packaged message gets you the gig, then packaging yourself as a speaker raises your fee. Now, by that I mean, you know, it's you might get the inquiries, you might get the gigs again from live events, but then that person has to turn around and sell you and justify the expense. And having these types of assets raise the level of trust, raise the level of fee, raise the level of gravitas, whatever. So packaged message gets the gig, packaged speaker raises the fee, and of course, many other ways to leverage video as well. And that's what we're here to really dive in and talk about. Let's go ahead and look at video number one. Now, all of these bullet points popped up, so that's fine. We'll just go through them. There will be no mystery or surprise. I tried it earlier, but it was formatting weird. Demo is short for demonstration. Okay, so the demo, the video that you just saw, you know, a lot of people will call it a demo video. I don't. I call it more of a sizzle reel, right? More of that, the packaging of the speaker, putting the best foot forward. You can be sure there is a level of, I don't know, security, a level of confidence, a level of maybe even pride when I send that video to a prospect versus before. And there was a lot of years I did not have this sizzle reel, right? I didn't have a comparable sizzle reel. I used the demo video version instead, and it was fantastically successful as well. But once again, raising the fees, I needed to level up my video game. So before, it was kind of like, you could watch this video, right? I don't know if anybody, how many has that experience right now where when someone asks, hey, can you send us some information? Can I see some video? And then you have something to send them, but you're kind of like, ooh, I don't feel 100% great about that. And then as soon as you send it, you watch it again as though you're imagining them watching it, and you're going through and going, oh my gosh, that's embarrassing. Anybody have that experience with their demo video? Mike says, yep, that's me 100%. Dean says, accepted a lower price gig just because I know they're doing quality multi-camera shoot. Well worth it. Yes, gathering the footage is huge. And then, of course, we'll talk about putting that footage into specific order, right? And telling a specific story with that. We'll give you a little bit of a formula today. I think you'll love it. Yes, mine is so old, says Kathy. So that's another thing about demo videos too, right? We got to continually update it. And so here's the thing. If you don't have the budget for a $10,000, $20,000 sizzle reel, demo video is fantastic. Let's say you don't have gigs, right? Booked. Rent a church, rent a school. It's summertime. You know, schools are out of session. There's auditoriums that you can rent for the day. Hire a camera crew. Again, you could probably get this video done $2,500 with editing and music and everything, soup to nuts. Get a solid demo video done for less than the price of just one decent gig. So always be thinking about how can I get video? And if there are no gigs coming up, you got to make it happen. You got to make it happen. So here we go. Demo short for demonstration. You got to just show yourself speaking on stage. That is basically it for video number 1. The ideal length for this, think TED Talk, 4 to 12 minutes, right? Have background music behind you speaking, but this is literally one clip of you speaking, right? Just one clip of you speaking on stage in front of an audience, or not. Some of the clips you saw in my Sizzle Reel, not in front of a live audience, right? There's some virtual gigs. There was that, stage that we rented. So again, use what you have for sure, but using background music really does, again, elevate, I think, the perception, and also helps guide the emotion of the viewer as well. So here's a couple of resources: Premium Beat, Audio Jungle, artlist.io for royalty-free music. Always, any marketing piece, you want to have a call to action at the end, maybe even at the lower third. Although with video, if you are at the stage of your career where you're starting to field requests from agents or bureaus, then you're definitely going to want to have a bureau-friendly video. Now, bureau-friendly video basically means that you don't have a call to action. You don't have your website listed. The bureau will then tack on their information at the end of that video. So that is one thing to consider when it comes to having a call to action. I always had 2 separate versions of each video, one with my call to action and then a bureau-friendly version if and when a bureau requested information from me. So you can get yours edited. Oh, that's right. If you have a bunch of video footage, we of course have our editors that you can make use of. It is incredibly affordable. Getspeakinggigs.com/videos. Take a look at that. Take a look at the work. Take a look at the rates. Super affordable way to take your footage, create a demo video, music, texts, right? So subtitles. In other words, when people watch a demo video, they don't typically watch it on mute, but it is nice to have the text at the bottom just in case they are. And of course, adding music and even some B-roll mixed in is a nice touch for a demo video. So my videos are crap, says Dean. By comparison, they work, but not because they are good, but because of the whole service booking process. Absolutely. And that's what we're here to talk about. Using what you have, maximizing what you have in such a way that you can tell the story of the mess. Remember, begin with the end in mind, right? We talked about the list of things that a demo video really should do and messages that it really should communicate and outcomes that a good demo video or sizzle reel or any of the other three other types of videos should really do for a client. So listen, if you have footage and you want to get it edited, go over to getspeakinggigs.com/videos. Take a look at the opportunities there for video editing. And there'll also be a hint as to one of the other video types that I make use of a lot. And you'll see that there as well. So that's a little bit of a sneak peek. And if you don't have video footage, hey, come on down to our summit. We are setting up the stage, pipe and drape, up lighting, professional camera crew, and we're all sort of sharing the expense so that we can get our demo videos shot. We can have a little audience in the room as well. There is still room available for our VIP day, and it is a fraction of the price of what a professional video would cost you otherwise if you're to do all that on your own. So go ahead and take a look. In fact, I have a link. I'm going to put it into the chat for the Next Stage Summit 2023 live and in person for the first time. August 11th is our VIP day, and up here in the northeast of Massachusetts, where it is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful this time of year. All right. Thank you, Greg. What a great idea. It is indeed. Share the load, as they say. All right. Next is the Sizzle Reel. We talked about this. I was asking earlier for you to share what you noticed in my Sizzle Reel, and a lot of you mentioned a lot of the components for sure. The strategies and the tactics of coming back to the messaging, right? What is this about? Who is this for? Why does it matter? What problems does it solve? We'll talk about the actual stories, but these are the component parts of a Sizzle Reel that you might use. You might take advantage of some of them. You might not. Think of it as a palette of color that you can paint your little story message using any of these. So footage of you speaking live in person. That is a must. They have to be able to see you on a stage. They have to be able to envision it, right? You don't want to make them use their imagination, right? You want to show them, look, this is what it looks like. This is that intangible product that you're selling, that intangible service that you're selling of a speech that's going to happen sometime in the future. This is what it's going to look like, right? And this is what it's going to sound like, and this is what it's going to feel like. So footage of you speaking digitally, right? So maybe at events like this where you're speaking digitally, and maybe there's hybrid events. I think that is a great opportunity now post-COVID to have demo video footage that looks legit, even though it's just you recording on your own Zoom account. You could totally do that. You speaking direct to camera, you saw some of that footage in my Sizzle Reel. Audience shots. Now, some of the audiences were real audiences. Some of the audiences were, guess what? Stock footage audiences, right? So plenty of ways to make that happen. You interacting with audience members. There's text that you put on the screen, titles, testimonials, quotes, headers, etc., etc. Lifestyle shots, right? Let them get to know you a little bit. You saw me doing a little bit of magic in my video. You noticed again some B-roll of the city and people on their cell phones, and those types of professional touches again that you can use as part of your own palette. Maybe some animations that you saw a call to action, and again I put that in parentheses maybe because of the conversation we had earlier regarding bureaus, right, and agents. So consider that as well. The ideal length, again, according to Chris West here, 2 minutes and 47 seconds. Up to 4 minutes is a good length for a sizzle reel. But here's the key. It is okay to be too long. It is never okay to be too boring. I'll say that again. It's okay to be too long. It's not okay for your video to be too boring. So we're going to talk about what a sizzle reel should do. And I believe that's next. It is. These little, this is Chris West's model, right? Again, giving full credit where credit is due. This is something I'm intimately familiar with, having worked with Chris West, but he was also a guest at our Next Stage Speaking Summit, a guest presenter. And he shared this with us, and I'm passing this along to you as well. These are the 5 movements of a great sizzle reel, right? These are the 5 component parts of a great demo video even. So if you're out there and you're talking about your topic, you want to have, even if you're doing a demo video that's in the TED style, right? So it's just one clip of you speaking, you want to hit these 5 signposts. Now, one of the most important, oh, hey, Leslie, good to see you. Hey, Mike, better late than never, here from Austin, Texas. Leslie out there, always working hard, always, every time I talk to you, sharing stories of life on the road as a professional speaker. So total, what do we call that? In the trenches, road warrior, right? So welcome, Leslie. So yeah, we are, again, making sure that we hit these 5 signposts with our videos. Now, one of the most important pieces is absolutely the opening. And I want you to think of the opening, and you can do this right from you on stage. You can do this you direct to camera as it was in my video. You want to ask the big question. You want your video to pose to the audience the big question. What is it that your message, not what is your message about, what problem does your message solve? And if you were to say, well, Tim, I speak about my personal story, or Tim, I speak about, something that happened to me in childhood and how I overcame it. Well, guess what? Maybe at the beginning, it shouldn't be when I was 7, this happened. Instead, it should be, what do we do when life throws us a curveball? What do we do when life throws us something so challenging that it seems insurmountable, right? What can we, like a big question that your message answers. In fact, all of your work answers. How can you pose that question, and how can you do it in video format? So that is what the opening is about. That is hugely important. Then you move into some insight. You talk, well, hey, because when I was 7, this happened to me, and this is what I learned. I learned that you have to do this, this, and this. Not going too much into the teaching mode, but giving them some insight into what your area of expertise is, what your solution might look like, and kind of giving them that 30,000 foot look, right? Then your video is going to move into your expertise, because as a professional speaker, somebody's been doing this for 10 years and yeah, I've written books on this and I've done this and I've done that. right? Show how your background, your expertise, your resume, your personal story, your work experience, whatever it may be, this is the time to highlight that. So you say, what's the big question? The audience goes, yeah, I'm struggling with that. Here's a glimpse into my solution. And they lean in and go, now that's interesting. Here's how I'm qualified to talk about that. That's your expertise. And then you move into the change model. And this is where a lot of speakers miss the boat. Either they start here and they go right into their content, bad news, or they go too deep and they start to really teach, in their demo video, which again is not something you really want to do. The change model instead is once again more of a 30,000 foot look, not just at what your solution might be, but really kind of the process of how you make that outcome a reality. Now, this is really where you differentiate yourself. This is where you highlight your intellectual property. This is where you highlight your process. Hey, as a speaker who's been doing, back to expertise, as a speaker who's been doing this 10 years, blah, 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 I found that there's really a 3-step process to this. It's see, be, speak. Boom, boom, boom. This is my change model. It's a circuit of connection, and here are the results that people have experienced. And you move into either testimonials or social proof, or, mine, it was the books that I've written and some of the media appearances that I've had as well. So if you go back and watch the video, you'll see each of these 5 movements. You'll see different music for each one of them. You'll see a hard transition, and it'll be almost obvious and no brainer. And that's the beauty. If you have a formula, if you have a process, then you can create something that works. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You don't have to sit there and obsess in, some kind of video editing software where you're really like, oh man, do I put this here? Do I put that there? Should I leave this? Do I cut that? Anybody who's done their own video knows the agonizing process of making all of those micro decisions. But if you have a process to go by, then that will absolutely help you out. So that is only video number 2. Right? That is video number 2. I think that's what a lot of people think of when they think of a demo video. It's really this idea of a sizzle reel, something that is short, sweet, and tells the full story, packages your message, and packages you as the speaker in a short amount of time. And this is the process for doing that. Let's talk about some other videos that you can get done today, right? You can turn around right now and you can you can create your I Believe video. Your I Believe video can follow a similar 5-step process if you'd like. But basically, the way the I Believe video works is you talk directly to the viewer, right? Directly to camera, as though they're your audience. And then you speak about what you speak about. You give them your core topic, your core beliefs. And you might even start the video by saying, I believe that human connection is the secret sauce in business and in life. And then you go on a rant about your topic. You get an impassioned rant that explains why people should care, why your topic and your subject matters, who it's for, and really just what it's all about. And when people see this I Believe video, here's what they're going to see. They're going to know, oh, this is someone who's passionate. This is someone who is excited about their information, about their topic. They're going to see your speaking style. They're going to see that you have something to say, that you have a message, and that you know who it's for, and that there is clarity surrounding it. And once again, whether it is shot in a situation like this, where the lighting isn't perfect and the audio is not perfect, what this video captures is your passion for your topic. Lets people know who you are, what you speak about, and how you speak about that topic. So you can certainly add in music. You can have the call to action and the subtitles. You can write it out and use a teleprompter app if you'd like. I use Big View, right? That if you're doing it right on your cell phone anyway, cell phones have amazing cameras. You might as well take advantage of possible, teleprompter so that you don't mess up. You get it right the first time. Valerie says, oh, this is so good. Ready to jump in. Welcome. Good to have you here. This video should be about 1 to 2 minutes in length. Really shoot for that short, sweet, and to the point I Believe video, right? Anybody who's done any of our work with, Tamsin was another speaker, Tamsin Webster. She has a book called Find Your Red Thread. And this is a great formula. The red thread is a great formula for your I Believe video. The goal, the problem, the truth, the change, and the action. Hey, we can all agree we want this. I believe this is the real problem behind it. The truth is we need to do this. Boom, boom, boom. Impassioned plea. Almost in an evangelical type vibe for your topic is the I Believe video. All right, the next video, 4 out of 5. Video number 4 is the why me video. The why me video. Now, this time you're talking directly to the viewer, not as though they're your audience member, but rather they are your prospect, the person who might do business with you. This is a perfect time to humble brag on some of your credentials, some of your experience, your credibility, your expertise, any awards you have won. These can be graphics popping up on the screen next to you. This can be just something that you verbalize. This is a great opportunity to provide them a behind the scenes glimpse into what it's like to work with you, right? So, hey, you know, when we first worked together, I'm going to do this and then I'm going to do that. And the reason I do that is because of this. And really, this video is the perfect video to send someone when they're engaged in the speaker selection process, and maybe they've requested information from you. So you send them, hey, here's my I Believe video. I'm really passionate about this topic. As you can see, this is an example of me speaking about it. Listen, if you have your $25,000 speaker sizzle reel, go ahead and send that, of course, right? If you've got a fantastic demo video with you on stage with full lighting, and of course, send that. But if you don't have that, you know, you can make something on your phone like an I Believe video. You can make something on your phone like a Why Me video and put those side by side, and this will differentiate you. Here's the rule of thumb. If most speakers do something one way, but you do it a little bit differently, definitely talk about that. Right? There was an old story of an advertising agent. I think this was Claude Hopkins, and he, Big View, Kathy, Big View is a teleprompter app. So you type in the text that you want, that'll pop up on the screen. You're reading the text on your phone, and it looks like you're looking at the camera. So it's just a simple cell phone teleprompter app. I don't know if it's just for iPhone, but that just happens to be the one that I use. Now, he was tasked with selling Schlitz beer, and he didn't know how to differentiate them. They were just another beer. So he decided to really go to the big brewery and take a look at how they did things, and they gave him a tour. And as he's walking around, they're talking about the brewing process and cold brewed and this and that and all and the other. And he's like, wow, this is incredible. And they're just like, oh, no, everybody does that. Like, everybody does that. All the brewers do that. And he said, yes, but nobody's talking about it, right? So is there something that you do as a speaker? You know, I make sure I show up early. I do a prep call with the client to customize my presentation. Well, maybe everybody does that, but nobody's talking about it, right? Oh, I make sure that when I do PowerPoint, I use more images than text, right? That's clearly not the case here today. But if that's you, talk about it, right? Let people into your world and what it's like to work with you, right? I've seen some great examples of this where people are talking about, I don't use PowerPoint, I use Prezi. Fantastic. Mention it, show it, give an example, talk about it, right? So this is the why you video. And if you go on my website, you'll see some examples, not a video, but I have a why is Tim different? And you can look at some of the different angles that you can take and things that you can talk about as a speaker. Not sure, Kathy, if you can use it on a laptop or not. Good question, though. I know there are a lot of different types of teleprompter, you know, apps and programs. Some are free, some are not. You'll have to have a look and see what's what. Video number 5. This is the 5th and final one that we'll be talking about today. Obviously, I did mention 2 opportunities to level up your video game, and this is the first one. The content clip. What a great opportunity we have in 2023. You know, the ability to just distribute video through social media easily, inexpensively, free in many, many cases. But here's what a content clip is going to look like. Basically, it can be anything. It can be direct to camera, can be clipped from a gig, right? A little short clip, right? We're looking for less than a minute on these videos. It can be from a podcast where you're putting images over it. Even though it's only audio podcast, you can add video or images to it, and or text, even just text on a screen of what you're saying. Those videos perform well as well. So again, get creative here, but what you're looking for is just anything relevant to your topic, anything at all. You talking about your topic in any way, shape, or form. A little nugget, teaching a little piece of content or a hot tip or something that people can take and use, or just a single idea. And then you can take this content clip, distribute it on LinkedIn, Facebook, social media, Instagram, right? As Instagram Reels. You can put these on TikTok if you're so inclined there. But this is the type of media that people are consuming like crazy right now. So these short content clips, you've got to kind of get in the game. You've got to be consistent. You've got to distribute, you can distribute as many of these as you want, right? There's really no limit to how many of these that you can do, right? These definitely, you want to include music, a call to action, and absolutely positively want subtitles on these. Because if someone is scrolling and they're on a call or they're in the bathroom and they don't want audio, then they're going to be scrolling silently, and you still want them to be able to know what you're talking about, right? So this is absolutely a great technique. In fact, I'm going to share a sample of this type of video here. This one's just 46 seconds long. I'll go ahead and open that up, and I will share my screen and the audio and share you a simple example, and you can see how it's formatted specifically for Instagram Reels. And this guy right here, beautiful, sharing my screen. I'm going to go right to this. Can I just do that? Can I? You see, every interaction that we have is made up of these moments, isn't it? I call it relational DNA, because DNA is a tiny little thing that has all of the information necessary to make you you. In our relationships, every interaction that we have contains that little DNA. That little DNA that this is what the relationship is like. Do you ever play this game on a date with your spouse or whatever, and you're watching other people and saying, what do you think? Looks like a first date. Ever play that game? Or, oh, I don't know, over here, it looks like they're negotiating some kind of business deal, right? It's almost easy to tell where the relationship is at just by these small moments. So maybe small moments matter. Simple, so important to have you talking about your content, right? YouTube Shorts. Thank you so much, Valerie. That is the one that is the word I was trying to think of. YouTube Shorts for sure, right? So once again, consistency is key. Here's how I do these, right? And that one in particular, I remember there was one, some of these videos just go and they just go viral. For me, viral is in the tens of thousands of views. Many times you'll post something and you'll get a few hundred views, and then you'll be disappointed. And then you'll think to yourself, wait a minute. That's basically, what if I was in a room with 200 people teaching them about my information, demonstrating for them my speaking style and my content? Like 200 views is no longer disappointing. Like suddenly that's fantastic. And if you do that once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week, right? I don't know how much footage you have, but if you record yourself speaking for 45 minutes, that can be chopped up into these little clips. So I have a team who does that for me, right? This is a group of people who chop up into clips. They add the music, they add the B-roll, they put in the subtitles, they make sure it's formatted for social media. They even distribute to the different social media channels and platforms for me. It is hands off. All I got to do is do what I'm doing anyway, creating content, speaking with passion, sharing my message, and those clips are created for me. In fact, that is the secret sauce I gave you earlier. That was the hint. It is Getspeakinggigs.com/videos. I'll put the link into the chat just to make sure we get it right. But you'll see that this is just a real simple way to automate that whole process, to have somebody do that for you. So if you don't have a Sizzle Reel, if you don't have, again, all the fancy, expensive video, that does not mean that you cannot leverage the power of video. And that is what it looks like right there when you visit it, Getspeakinggigs.com/videos. It is plural, and you'll see it's an incredibly affordable way to get that type of video taken care of. So that is option number one, right? That is option number one to level up your video game, is to have somebody create these types of videos for you. Just sit in front of Zoom and talk to Zoom about your topic. It'll give you motivation every single month to be creating content, to be sharing, to be talking about your topic, and then distributing it, getting it out on LinkedIn and Instagram and YouTube Shorts, building that consistency and starting that process is incredibly important as a thought leader, right? As a thought leader. Now, I don't know what type of speaker you are, but I believe that positioning yourself as a thought leader, someone who is out there, someone who is sharing, someone who's teaching, someone who is thinking differently, that's one of the best paths to high fee speaking gigs. Melissa, thanks for joining us for sure. Our second way to level up our speaking game is, of course, the Next Stage Summit, where you can get your video shot and edited by these same editors. It's sort of a 2-in-1 deal. It is your entire demo video, soup to nuts, right? We go, we shoot it. We have the stage, we have the audience, we have the camera crew, and you save a bunch of money, save a bunch of time, and we're coming up. This is now almost a little more than a month and a half away. August 11th is our date of shooting, and we are having this at a actual hotel conference and event center. So it's going to look exactly like a high-paying audience would expect a speaking gig to look. So those are our 2 ways to level up our speaking game. Now I am 1 minute over time. I'm going to go ahead, turn this off, and I'm going to now switch to our Q&A segment. I have exactly 14 minutes to hang out with all of you and answer any questions that you have about demo videos or really the speaking business in general. Would love to take an opportunity to answer those questions. Andrea says, thank you, Tim. Very helpful. Sending love and joy from Toronto. Hello from north of the border. I'm here thanks to David Reich, by the way. Excellent. David is one of our advance clients. We have this program called Advance, and basically what we do is we do everything for you and you show up and do the gigs. So we get you booked, we get you packaged, we do the whole process, including he's coming down to our summit to get his video done as well. All of that is included in the Advance program, and it's quite frankly, I was talking to somebody yesterday. It is very, very, very underpriced. If you're interested in chatting about that or really about anything relating to the speaking business, I do have some spots open on my calendar. You can go ahead and book it using that link right there. It is getspeakinggigs.com/apply. So little surprise shout out from David Reich there and Andrea. Thank you so much. This is so good, says Vocal Splendor Studios. That is Valerie. You are so clear about all of these videos. Remember, 5 videos. I believe we should have some of each. Right? I believe it's really important. Even with a great sizzle reel, I am still using demo video footage as well. Just a simple 8-minute clip of me speaking on a stage, start to finish. I don't even know if there's music on that one, to be quite frank, but you can absolutely put music in there. Please tell me the difference between the $697 demo video versus the $1447 video package. $697 is you provide all of the footage. $1447 includes the $697, but we also it includes also the summit day where we shoot your video. Oh, and by the way, it also includes the full summit, the next 2 days where we teach everything I know about running a speaking business and using that demo video that you shot on the 11th to book more speaking gigs and get more paid, as we say. So it's it is building your speaking business in a weekend, right? That is the goal, that is the idea, that is the vision for the Next Stage Speaking Summit. And if you've got everything you need and you just need someone to edit it all fancy together, that's your $697. If you don't have the footage and you need the footage and you can come to Massachusetts and shoot the footage, then that's your $1447 package there. That is your Next Stage Speaking Summit VIP pass. If there's any left, I don't know, I haven't checked my email since. Mike asks, if you were going to focus on one video first, what would you recommend us focusing on? I would say the I Believe video is a good starting point. We have many of our advanced members, our clients going through our program, start with the I Believe video. This helps us to, we script it for them, of course, but this helps us to really clarify the message and really package the message. What is the outcome that you're delivering? What is the promise? What is it that you're selling? How does your story relate to that audience or a paying audience? Where is the fit? Like, we really use the I Believe video as a proving ground there. So that's a good place to start. How do you filter from all of the footage we have over time to best put into a video apart from what you said? In other words, there is such a backlog of footage. How do we sift through all of that? Oh my gosh, that is That is a great question. And I would go back to this particular slide. Let me see here. I would go back to using this as your filter right here. There it is. Use this. Find something that has, oh, there's David. Hey, David. Find something that has you asking the big question. Find something that has you providing the insight and demonstrating your expertise. And if you don't have these things, again, rent a school, rent a church, get a stage, set up pipe and drape, do your up. Listen, invite your friends right, to come and watch you speak. You got to get the footage at some point. If you have this huge backlog, that my situation was I had the huge backlog, but I didn't have these component parts. So I really needed to tell the story of my idea. So I had to go and rent. It was a school, a big auditorium, and you saw the end result. But that's definitely the process I would recommend. 10 minutes to go. We're still doing Q&A. I still see 21 people remaining. Thanks for hanging out with us. Glenn asks, if you have a speaking business website, does it make sense to post several of these different kinds of videos on your website? The answer is yes. I especially love using video for a speaker bio, right? You know, if you have an About Me page on your website and it's all text, use that, but also add a video to it. Remember, the power of video. As speakers, what we're selling is our ability to speak and relay information. The more we can demonstrate that, the more we can exhibit that, the more we can showcase that, the better. So absolutely having multiple videos on your website is a fantastic idea. Listen, if somebody goes onto YouTube or goes to Google and Googles you, and you've got multiple videos where people can just sift through and find, it just basically expands your digital footprint, right? So that, you can control a little better what people are finding with that Google search. That's where the consistency comes in. That's where a lot of our social media strategies come from or come in. So yes is the answer. It does make sense to post several different types of videos. Now, that doesn't mean that you're going to have 58 content clips, right? But again, at least one of each might not be a terrible idea. I particularly like the Why Me video on a website. Andrew, I will look at what I have and then use these 5 steps to filter them. Thank you. Fantastic. Amen to that, says Gregory. Any other questions before we wrap up? As I said, I do have a strategy session at 1 o'clock that I will not be late for. Great. Podcasting has helped me a lot to have several videos in over a year. Great point, Andrea. We did mention that a little bit in our content clips, but you can use podcast clips, especially the video ones, in a Sizzle Reel, right? You can clip out and show that. As I said, post 2020, the digital events, the virtual, the hybrid, all of that stuff is so much more prevalent, and people do have those events and do want to see what you look like when you're doing digital and virtual, and sound like, and what your setup is like. So yeah, that's all good stuff to have. You'll see on my website, I have a whole page of different podcasts at my content site, gooditpeople.com. If you're undecided about attending the summit, take the plunge and get there. I've been speaking for close to 50 years for real. I've spoken over 5,000 times, but this is training and associations at an entirely different level than what I've ever done. Get yourself to Boston in August. It's not the stuff, it's the people to surround yourself with. Amen to that. Thank you so much. Mike with a Y and Mike with an I says, any particular app you use for recording video from your phone? Again, having an iPhone, if I'm recording video, I'll either use Big View if I need a teleprompter, or I'll just use my camera. These cameras, fantastic, just fantastic. So I just use the regular camera app. Transferring data and all that. I mean, there's some tech hassles you want to, figure out, but those are a lot of questions. A lot of those questions can be answered certainly via Google. All right, let's throw this here so we can get to see my full name. Host of nextstagesummit.com. Cool. Any other questions about the speaking business, about what it takes to get booked using video? anything in between. Happy to chat for another 6 full minutes. You've got me. We're here, and it's being recorded still too. Big View works on any phone and on laptops or desktops. Amazing. Thank you so much, Mike, for helping out with the tech support there. Love it. All right, and again, we are on a delay, so I'm going to wait until 1 o'clock exactly. I'm talking with a speaker who is doing a lot of stuff in the religious space. He's doing a lot of churches and things like that. And he wants to segue into more business audience, corporate speaking, which of course is my jam. Who are the speakers with me in August? Gregory Dwyer. It is going to be myself, and then I am still pulling some strings. I know it's last minute, but we're thinking about maybe getting there. There may be a special guest. I'm also looking into having some, if we get enough people for the VIP day, I may bring in a contact I have who works at a speakers bureau locally here in the Boston area, but they do national work, as a sort of a showcase type opportunity. So maybe not speakers per se, but industry insiders, and people who may offer that perspective and be able to give us some advice on, hey, maybe tweak this, maybe change that, or hey, that's highly bookable. Fantastic. So it's going to be a lot of myself delivering the content, literally peeling back the entire speaking business, the 3 phases we're going to be talking about, and really not talking about. We're going to be working. It's really heavily going to be a workshop where we roll up our sleeves and we build our speaking business together in a weekend. So we'll go ahead and get that work done together. So if you had to pin me down, I would say it's primarily going to be Tim David presenting a lot of the information, taking you through the process. It's quite literally, we're teaching the exact process that we use for our advanced clients. And you're going to see the documents and the systems and really everything that we do to get a speaker ready to launch, do the launch process. And Worth Shop. Oh, I get it. A worth shop, not a workshop, a worth shop. I love it. A fun shop, I used to say when I was doing magic workshops for kids. It's a magic fun shop because we're not working, we're having fun. So that is that. Oh, and also, by the way, if you're not interested in the VIP day, but you're really curious about the rest of the summit, we changed to a name your price option. Hey, listen, we got the space. We have to pay the same no matter what. It's just a matter of providing food, right, for a couple extra people. So if 50 people show up, if 10 people show up, if 100 people show up, we're paying out a largely the same amount. So the name your price option is now on the table for the regular admission, right? The Saturday and the Sunday, 2 full days. Roll up your sleeves, build your speaking business, know how to package your message, how to create the systems, right, in your business to know where the gigs are going to come from and to be able to have some predictability to that. So that is all that information. You can see the link right here, nextstagesummit.com. You can have a peek of that. Or at that. And we're coming up again around the corner. It's less than 2 months away now. So it is time. People are booking their flights, booking their hotel. And it's exciting. Our first ever in-person live face-to-face Next Stage Speaking Summit 2023. It's happening. It is happening. 2021, post-COVID, I said, let's get the speaking industry together. Let's do it digitally. Let's be safe. But let's also make sure we stay connected as well as stay safe. The Next Stage Speaking Summit was born. 1,350 people came through the doors, a 10-day event. Mwah, so much fun. I don't know, 70 speakers, 70 presenters, right? Not just speakers in attendance. 1,350 speakers came through. Year 2, 1,360. We increased by 10 year 2. And 5-day event, my gosh, 30 speakers, whatever it was. So much fun. Mwah. Right, a blast. This year in person, and now we're not just talking for 20 minutes about this topic, 20 minutes about, it's not just everybody quick, learn a little bit about this, learn a little bit about that, switch gears. We're diving deep this time, and I'm super excited to make it happen. How about breaking up the payments for VIP? Greg, let's talk. Yeah, let's talk. I'm not sure if there's an option on the website just yet for 3Pay, but or 2Pay, but we can have a look at that if that will be the difference maker for you. Again, getting that video is fantastic. Oh, it is 1 o'clock, ladies and gentlemen. That is it for this session. Again, stay tuned for the replay if you're just coming in late and you want to make sure you see what we did here. If you're getting your time zones mixed up and you're just popping in and you say, oh no, it was 12 Eastern, go ahead, make sure you take a look at our Facebook group, at the YouTube channel, or just go to Getspeakinggigs.com and get your name and email on that list so that you can stay notified and abreast of all of the things that we're doing to help speakers get more gigs and get more paid. I wanted to get that right. Get more gigs and get more paid. I think that's going to be our next slogan. Thank you, Dean and Greg and Andrea and Mike. It was a blast. We'll do this again. For now, speak soon.